Добрий день, шановні глядачі! Вітаємо вас на телепрограмі Alberta Kontakt. Я Василь Яворський. Одна із сьогоднішніх суспільних проблем, які виникли під час пандемії коронавірусу, це порушення звичайного духовного життя наших вірян. Незважаючи на карантин в нашому суспільстві, українські церкви знаходять різні способи, щоб далі проводити свою діяльність. Зокрема, йдеться про церковне життя під час пандемії Української католицької катедри святого Йосифата в місті Едмонтон. Отож, в сьогоднішньому репортажі ви довідаєтеся, як ця церковна громада продовжує свою роботу з віруючими із застосуванням сучасних технологій.
Це дуже швидко все сталося, бо так виглядало спочатку, що буде обмеження чисел людей, які будуть приходити до церкви, але на загал, що церкви будуть далі відкриті. І тоді прийшло повідомлення, що всі церкви закриті. Ну і тоді що далі? Ми були всі повідомлені, що всі церкви є замкнені і що є священники можуть далі правити по церквах. Так що ми правили від самого початку з присутністю дяка чи іншої особи, що прислуговує. Велика зміна для церковного життя, бо в грецькій мові слово на церкву – це є еклезія. Еклезія – це є зібрання людей. Так що люди сходяться разом, щоб як родина помолитися. І це надзвичайно важливо щонеділі разом, як родина, зібратися разом, помолитися, віддати славу Богові, подяку і бути присутним на святій літургії, так як Господь просив, робіть це на мій спомин.
Prior to quarantine here, we had plans to go live streaming. And live stream was a part of our outreach to the community. The biggest part of our community is becoming a vibrant parish, and one element is outreach to the community. So a while back, we were thinking about this live streaming. The technology is new to a lot of us, but we had some very keen individuals amongst our parish council that have brought us to the point we're at today. So we advanced it starting at about, let's say, 6 to 9 months ago. So prior to the pandemic, we were thinking about this already. But when the pandemic hit, all of a sudden Bishop said, okay, we will start live streaming here shortly. So it was a little bit of work we had to do to get it working. The first few versions of our live streaming were, I guess, we evolved to where we're at today. We learned a lot. We have a lot of people helping us. So we're very generous people who've helped us with the audio, with the video, to bring us to where we're at today. We've had actually some parish members who do this for a profession that have come in to help us, and we're very satisfied. So where we're at today, we have been looking at those who have been tying into us with respect to outreach on the electrical, digital side, let's call it, and we're getting phenomenal response. Today was a beautiful day. We had an opportunity to come to church. We stuck to the rules that were imposed upon us, and that's 50 people. We were at below 50 people today, but however, it's good to see people back in church. Similarly, we also had people not only in church, but we had people on the internet as well. We had a very good coming today for the first time together as a church, as a parish, as an eparchy. So we've done well. So through the pandemic, we were learning. And it was an opportunity for us to become better citizens, to become better stewards of our parish and also to the eparchy.
Тут є Боже провидіння в цьому всьому, що Господь Бог дійсно нас попровадив. Втім, ми вже в серпні думали вставити video system cameras. Так, наприклад, ми маємо там на стіні один, і тут, і все, що потрібне. Але думка була, щоб ми могли передавати відправи для тих, що є вдома, що не можуть прийти до церкви, для старших, тих, що є по шпиталях чи домах опіки. І ми рішили, закупили все, що було потрібно, і воно було ставлене під кінець лютого. Так, якщо це настало, і ми мали все готове, щоб передавати через лайвстрім. Було гарно побачити людей в церкві сьогодні, навіть що тільки лише було обмежено до 50 осіб, але гарно бачити їхні лиця. Було тяжко відправити літургію в Великдень, навіть що є лайвстрім, бо, звичайно, церква заповнена і є інший дух, так що то є трошки трудно правити в порожній церкві, але гарно бачити принаймні 50 осіб в церкві.
Because of the restrictions of how many people can come here, and because COVID is more likely to be more dangerous for older people, we have restricted the number of lectors who come. So we want to keep it the same, and the younger ones are the ones we wish to have to come and serve. We have no altar boys serving. Today is the first day in 6 weeks that we've actually had altar boys at the various divine liturgies. And again, that's because we don't want the younger folk to be possibly contracting it or passing it around or that kind of thing. So that has slowed things down. We're running a skeleton crew, and we're doing it virtually. Every liturgy is streamed live. Some of the biggest challenges are how to keep it actually safe, because to clean the church after every liturgy between them and to keep people spaced properly, etc., that's a difficulty, mainly because people aren't used to it. I think once we get more used to it, we'll fall into a kind of a rhythm and it'll be easier. The other thing is that sometimes our technology doesn't work the best. And we have people saying, the audio and so is off, can you fix that kind of thing? So we're always scrambling to make sure that things are running smoothly. The worst was when we were starting up. We had lots of hiccups then, but now it's getting to be much better, and our delivery online is much more consistent. And we're also very happy with the number of people that come in. People from as far as Prince Albert and Scotland. We have regular rosary at 3 o'clock every day, and we've had up to 300 plus people who come in and join for that particular prayer, which is wonderful to see.
Well, it's an opportunity for us as eparchy to showcase who we are. We are a very caring eparchy, as you heard from Mary, from the bishop, from the various clergy, from members who are our council. We're very caring, and we want to make sure that that message is out there, and that's a wonderful theme for us.
Well, immediately after, I guess, imposition of quarantine, the church was, I guess, closed to the public. No one could come in. Our church wasn't really adapted to broadcasting mass, and I think the moment when coming to church wasn't a possibility, it became, I guess, one of the most important things that our church could do was going forward, and how could we broadcast mass going forward. And I think the big thing was between communion distribution, and there was a lot of questions that people had, right? And especially Easter was coming up at the time too. And so, like, I can just speak for, I know my dad, my dad was on Parish Council, and so there was a lot of, he was attending a lot of meetings I saw, and definitely talking about Father Peter and the other, I guess, clergy members, and I know that there's a lot of discussions with Bishop David on how to go forward, and if anything, it really accelerated I think there was the purchase of the first camera, and then the creation of the Facebook page, and the ability of the church to start figuring out how are we going to actually live stream masses. And then after that, we realized that we were getting a bit of a following, and it was really important. And so, I guess the being able to give communion through an online means, and it's the safest that way. If especially in the time when there was a lot of fear and there was a lot of anxiety going along, I think it was really important to broadcast our faith to the faithful, and in many times too, when the world seemed to be turning upside down, like I guess turning to God and our faith was what got a lot of people through, and it's getting a lot of people still through, because we're in no capacity really out of the woods. But the church kind of has moved forward, and if anything, it's really advanced. And I know I can't remember his last name, but I know his first name is Ben. He's been working really hard at modernizing the technology in our church, and I think going forward, the church is going to be much better off for this, right? And so that was like the initial stage of it. Now, if you go on the Facebook page, you'll see that we have, I think there's 3 or 4 cameras in there. There's all these different mics, and if anything, it gives definitely a more intimate connection to the church for the viewers. But it's also important because even on a normal Sunday, there's a lot of people who can't make it to church, right? And so I think whether it's they're stuck ill in a hospital, or they're at a senior's residence, or lack of mobility, or whatever life throws at us, right? It's the ability, I still think, to attend church is very important.
Deliver me, O Lord, from my enemies. It is true that I have fled. For the sake of your name, O Lord, you will keep me alive. And in your loving kindness, you will destroy my enemies. Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit. Alleluia, alleluia, alleluia. Glory be to you, O God.
The health perspective is provided to us through the government. So the government, we had to make sure we have social distancing. We have to make sure that if you're within a distance of 2 meters, i.e. 6 feet, you would have to wear a mask. Bishop has provided us with some very good direction, obviously through his clergy. And also, is it different? The answer is yes. A lot of people don't understand what social distancing is, so we have to explain to them. As you see in church today, we were able to provide that social distancing. We were also provide social separation. As you heard about cantering, cantering is a big part of church. In Ukrainian church, what do? We sing. It's part of us, of who we are. It's part of our culture here. But that's been difficult because the choir at church has not been able to get together. But we have beautiful cantors. As you probably have heard throughout the last 12 weeks, the singing hasn't stopped. The cantering has not stopped. During Easter, it was beautiful. It was beautiful to be here, and it's beautiful to be at home. Church. We start at home. When you go to Ukraine, church was always at home when the times were difficult. Well, we got to experience that here. Experience church at home. We asked people to bring in their pictures. Well, how did they bless their baskets after the bishop has blessed everybody? What did they do? So it's very interesting to see how people took the training through going through church, from learning from our parents, from Baba, from Judo, and bring together. So it's beautiful to see that.
Well, certainly the scaling back has been necessary, and we have been required, according to the directives of not only our church here, but our Alberta Health Services and the Alberta government requires us to have no congregational singing. So that definitely has taken the choir out of the mix. Typically we would sing in the choir loft, and the social distancing requirement also wouldn't allow us to have a large number of people. We have about 35 individuals that sing in the choir, and so it would be impossible for us to all be present. So we have had to switch gears and go back to the cantering approach in our church, and have just 1 or 2 singers leading the cantering, all the liturgies for the church here. And That's just what we've been asked to do. So, cantoring is a very long standing tradition in our church. And so it's completely normal to go with that kind of a tradition and approach here at the church. Um, it's a very beautiful melodic singing, and uh, there are variations to some of the pieces as well for cantoring. So we've been trying to engage with some of those pieces as well. So Hirvemska, we have a number of different pieces there that we can sing in two voices. Slava Rodny is another, and so there are several other pieces that we can sing. So. Well, even with cantoring, if there's at least one of us, or if we have to go to two of us, so that we actually have some harmony, which is really nice when we can do that. We do socially distance. We have to make sure that we're well over 6 feet apart from one another, because with singing, we know that some of the transmission of COVID could actually be happening if somebody actually had it. So we do know that it is requirement. Singing is considered a very high risk activity. And so we do have to be even more careful than those who just actually speak. So the challenge there is trying to stay together. For example, when you're singing, when someone's on one end of the church and the other person's on the other end, you have to really make sure that you're kind of keeping in touch with one another visually, so that you know what's happening and can stay close together. You also want to ensure that you're singing with those people who can really learn to sing together well and have sung together for a while and are very familiar with the music. That's very helpful as well. I think I'm just thankful that those of us who can cantor in the church have the opportunity to still reach out to others. And even though it is through live stream, I really hope that people in their homes are singing with us, and that they're engaging with the Holy Spirit, and that together the Holy Spirit is still bringing us all together. So that in song and in prayer, we are all praising God as one.
Parish Council, that's interesting. We now use a virtual platform to communicate. It was new to everybody. It was new to me. When it was introduced to me, a Zoom platform, okay, I have some tech savvy, but I don't have this tech savvy. So we actually are using a platform now, and we are now meeting probably more often than we did in the past, because it's easy. You're at home. You're in your own comforts. Our meetings are much more in-depth and much quicker. So once we got used to this, because right now, do we have all of our parish council members with us? No. Some are on video, some are audio, but there's some who've chosen not to come. So we're outreaching to them. How are they? How are you doing? Do you have the technology? We don't. So while we have phone, we have audio, video, and we have other platforms which are bringing us together here. So we're getting better at this here. And we sure get a lot done here. Everything you see today regarding social distancing, we did via our platform. And so the work we've done as a parish council is phenomenal. I have a very forward-thinking parish council. I'm very blessed to be with very young, energetic people, but also we have the older ones, if I may, and to sit us and say, good. However, think of this here. So we have a very good mixture of individuals to bring to what you see today online and in church itself. So Father Peter has been obviously working with Bishop, and they have been working very closely with other parishes. Other parishes have told their congregations to tie into our live stream, to be part of the whole eparchy and parts of the masses, whatever it may be, during the week or during the weekend here. So Father Peter has worked very closely with the eparchy, and yes, we are outreaching to other parishes as well.
Reign, O Lord, to keep us this night without sin. Blessed are you, O Lord God of our fathers. Praised and glorified is your name forever. Amen. O Lord, let your mercy rest upon us. for we have placed our trust in you. Blessed are you, O Lord. Teach me your statutes. Blessed are you, O Master. Grant that I may understand your statutes. Blessed are you, O Holy One. Enlighten me with your statutes. O Lord, you have been for us a refuge from age to age. I said, Lord, have mercy on me and heal my soul, for I have sinned against you.
It's very exciting here. It's a paradigm shift. It's an opportunity to go forward. Like I told you about forward-thinking individuals in our parish council. Here's an opportunity. But I'm going to say those who have a lot of experience in our church from a cultural perspective, language perspective, are saying, yes, but let's think of this. So they always asking me, let's think about the pioneers. Let's think about those who don't have the ability. Let's think about those who are in the homes. How can we outreach to them? So we have those who want to do the outreach. I'll call it digital outreach, but also we have to be considerate about the home base and what we do.
I hope we come back to the way it was before, although various doctors and scientists predicted there's going to be a second wave and it could be worse. So we don't really know. And of course, our prayer every day is that this whole thing is erased by the Lord and that we are able to come back as a community and to worship the way we have always done.
I've noticed that they're avoiding the word social distancing. Now they're calling it physical distancing. Because, one of the languages of love is physical touch, or closeness or whatever. And so now we're limited in how we're going to express our love to other people. And so being in the presence of others is important at family time. And, the parish is a family. Every parish is a family, and it's important to gather for special events. So it'll be tough. But I think that the important thing to remember that the church is not closed. We are open. The domestic church is important. Our community gathers are important. And slowly, hopefully, with God's grace, we will return back to normal, whatever that will be in the future.
Ну що ж, як ми бачимо, в цей нелегкий час Українська католицька катедра святого Йосифата, дотримуючися усіх правил карантинного життя, далі продовжує свою духовну діяльність. Молодці!